Understanding ORM and how to use it in your business. So ORM, or online reputation management, is a key piece of branding for your business and your personal brand through things like thought leadership that will make you stand out and help you get more sales literally today. So this is one of the things that I see a lot of people overlook or not understand. Personal branding, or just branding for the business through online reputation management, is not only getting good things out there, but helping mitigate the negative, defend against the negative, and prevent the negative from showing up, or building a conversation and being part of that communication for negativity and driving that positivity. Online reputation management is probably one of the key things that help businesses grow, especially smaller businesses that don't have a huge moat around them. And what I mean by moat is I mean something that requires you to use them. So in where I live, I have to use Duke Energy. I don't really have an option on anything outside of Duke Energy, so it doesn't matter if Duke Energy has 1,000 one-star reviews. Same thing with my cable and internet. I have 2 or 3 provider options, so those reviews matter more, but there's not hundreds of options. But as an entrepreneur, a thought leader, even an executive, there's probably a lot more competition and you have less of a moat protecting you from these things. So what exactly is online reputation management? Well, first off, it's creating positive links and things that make you stand out, help you bring in business. Now, the difference between that and advertising is an ad is something you would run on something like Facebook or Google. People click on it, they might purchase. But what people forget is that when someone clicks on an ad or sees an ad, they might then go Google that business, look for reviews, and look for feedback on that. They might check YouTube, they might check that person's social media, they might check the business social media. All of these pieces play a part in ORM. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of powerful ORM and ones that are close to home for me. So Lead Gen J is a company that I'm not affiliated with, but I've worked with them in the past. And basically what you do is if you Googled Lead Gen J, you'd assume maybe I saw an ad, maybe I saw a YouTube video, and I wanted to do some more research. So we want to talk about owning as much of Google, or in very soon as much AI result as possible. And that's done in a very similar way through media relations and owning your own channel. So once we Google them, you'll see that running an ad, so they're owning one of their spots. They have some key competitors running ads against them, which you can't do much about that. And that's actually probably a good thing because it shows that you're driving traffic and intent. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, especially if it's on your own branded name. People are probably gonna look for you. And then you'll look for other things. So you'll see, photos of that person. So you want to own as much of that as possible. And it's interesting that Otter Public Relations is coming up because Lead Gen J works for Otter Public Relations as well. So you'll see that all of this is positive. The YouTube is controlled. This is that person's website. And then you have back to their website, their YouTube, their social media. And then you'll see this kind of meta description with more positive. You'll see reviews. So doesn't have bad reviews, Trustpilot. So all of this is the online reputation management that is driving sales. Now you'll see things like Reddit. Reddit is really hard to control, but you'll see right here, I'm not gonna click into it, but the first thing is positive. So if someone's just skimming and they're looking in here, honestly, this is probably where some of the traffic goes. And so to see that this snippet is positive probably means even if there's negative things out there, they're engaging, they're bringing people, they're asking customers to give feedback. Things like that are probably intentionally driven. You'll bring into LinkedIn more about their course, their school. So you'll see that part of the online reputation management process, or the ORM process, online reputation management, is that they're owning as much of this as possible. And that's a defensive moat, but also giving really positive feedback for people that are looking to maybe work with Lead Gen J. Now we'll keep scrolling in. So instantly list them as an expert. We have YouTube again. So you'll notice that all of this is pretty much owned and controlled by Lead Gen J. So this is a really good example of how powerful this is, because I feel much better with my decision to probably work with them. Now on page 2, honestly, doesn't matter as much. You want to control as much as you can. Page 1, page 2 are probably critical. People who typically are not going past, I would say, page 2. And you'll look at this and you'll see USA Today, other things here. So this person passes the online reputation management test if I want to make a purchase from them at a high level. Of course, we probably go back in and look at their YouTube and things like that. Then you'll come in here and you'll also want to check news and make sure that it's positive news. There's no case studies. So you'll see that USA Today, Inc. So this person has really good online reputation management, some things that may be less related. So these are probably just off the name J. You see J. So that's not really relevant. And then I'll do a quick another example, which is, so the first thing you'll do is you'll see similar things, social media, website I own. So I'm just trying to own my name as well, so that if anything potentially negative comes up or people decide to search me, they're going to see pretty credible things. Awards, I pin specific things up here so that they see it. Our website is SEO optimized. I have an old website. I did this a long time ago. It's not that professional, but it's still there, and it takes a key place in there. And I even use words like entrepreneur Scott Bartnick, because that's what some people search when they're looking me up particularly. You'll see news articles with me winning an award, my YouTube. You'll see how much of this I own. I'm a contributor at Entrepreneur. So all of these things are really powerful. I'm a contributor across a whole bunch of platforms. So Muckrack is showing all of the places that I write for. So it's just, again, owning all of that. And then in the news tab, you'll see that this is mostly positive news, Entrepreneur, Forbes, USA Today. This is through because we bought a new building. So downtown St. Petersburg, talking about the headquarters. So really, really powerful stuff, controlling the narrative. So now how do you do that? How do you actually own your own keywords? First off, making sure all your profiles are filled out as much as possible. Make sure you're actively posting occasionally. Doesn't have to be all the time. Even if you're just doing 1 or 2 a month after you have a decent amount, that's going to continue to feed the algorithms, including YouTube. You notice a big chunk of that was YouTube Shorts and Longs. That was taking up a whole bunch because Google owns YouTube. So really powerful. They want to show their own results. They want to control as much of the traffic as possible. So building in that infrastructure. Now, the last piece of that is public relations. You'll see that we were both contributors on things like Inc. and Entrepreneur, articles on things like USA Today, Forbes. All of these platforms are really powerful. Being a contributor is really powerful. Now, how do you do that? In a simple sense, you do pitching. So I have a Forbes feature that I did a long time ago, and I got that through pitching every single Forbes writer who I could find their email of and told them, hey, I did this thing. And I made sure that they were in the travel or entrepreneurship niche. I did this thing, quit my job, traveled the world, built my own business, had a lot of success. And I found a unique angle, which was the Tim Ferriss angle of, live the 4-hour work week. Past that, it's just consistently pitching and finding new opportunities and getting your name out there. If you don't want to do all of that by yourself, I actually own Otter Public Relations. It's the #1 PR firm on Clutch, Upcity, and G2, online reputation management. And we would be happy to help you. If you are interested, hit the link down below to grab a meeting and you can talk through opportunities. It does start at $2,000 plus, especially for larger agencies. We work with things like Alibaba, so it can get kind of expensive. So that might not be for you, but I'm also giving away a free article on USA Wire. You can just grab my link to go to my lead magnets and it'll be in there. And we'll publish a completely free article for you. And you can basically SEO optimize it to the best way you want. And that will be the start of your online reputation management. If you guys like videos like this, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you.